So, should I sit between my keepers? Oh, but this is not the right look for an interview. You're right. Just give me 2 seconds. 1, 2, that's enough. Better like this? I am Arturo Brachetti, the most famous quick change artist in the world. Magician, performer, actor, director. I think I am a 15-year-old Peter Pan imprisoned in a body of a 67-year-old man.
In 2006, Arturo Brachetti set a Guinness World Record as the world's fastest quick change artist, transforming outfits in just 1.5 seconds. Coming up, we travel to Turin to uncover his secrets and take an exclusive look inside his home, where magic is behind every corner.
Welcome to my magical house.
Right, let's get started understanding this man. Arturo, why did you become a quick change artist?
When I was 14, I was such a shy boy, little, skinny, and my parents put me in a seminary where I met a priest who was a magician. He had a room full of magic tricks, and I spent all my youth in this room learning, reading about magic and illusionism. But I was shy, so I had to put on makeups and costumes to go in front of the audience. So I would put a Chinese costume to do a Chinese trick, an Indian costume to do the Indian rope, and so on, and I liked it. And in that moment I received a book, Fregoli raccontato da Fregoli, the book about this incredible man who 100 years ago was the master of quick changes, and I dreamt and to become like him.
And what did your parents think of this career plan?
My father dreamt and hoped that I would become a priest, but I became a magician. That is not so different. You know, when I was 17, I said to the priest who was my magic teacher, you know, I think I don't have the vocation, the religious vocation. And he said, well, it's not important. The important thing in life is that if you want to bring smile to the public, follow this idea, because it's going to be your life. And for all these years, I'm living my life as an artist like a mission. I don't drink, I don't eat a lot, I do gymnastics every day, because the reason is so much higher than the ritual sacrifice you do every day.
So Arturo, was there a grand debut?
When I started my career as a quick change artist, it was 1979. I was the only one in the world. I went to Paris, they took me straight away. I had 6 costumes. It was an act like a cabaret act. And then I developed this form of art. Now, for many years, I try to put a soul in what I do.
Now I know we all want to see the house, but before we do, this isn't just spectacle. According to Arturo, this stuff really has the power to move. Listen to this story.
Each character has a different energy, a different way of walking, a different attitude. I remember in the National Theatre in London, we were doing a play about bombs, and I was this shell-shot soldier who came back from the war, and he was left alone in this bomb factory. I was dressed as a worker, and all of a sudden he starts to remember this moment of war, and the sounds in the background go boom, and the costume becomes the costume of the soldier. He's running from box to box trying to save himself until a grenade explodes, and the soldier became his mother in black, crying, "Son!" Blackout. I mean, this was a quick change in 1 second. Fantastic. Normally you get a huge applause. No, I left the stage and people, audience were like this. Shocked by emotion and surprise. After a few seconds, they start to clap like this. And this is one of the biggest goals I had in my life, where emotion is almost stronger than the visual quick change.
Today, Arturo has over 350 characters in his repertoire and is considered in many countries a living legend in the world of theatre and visual performing arts.
Very often the people ask me, what is your secret? One is the costumes, who are complicated, they are tricky costumes, they are very expensive, and they work like origami tissues. And that's a perfect organization in the wings. I have assistants, no more than 2, because more than 2 is going to be a problem. When I am entering into a new costume, somebody else is holding me a wig, and I try to put my shoes by myself. That's happened maybe in 2 meters between one door to another. And the most incredible thing is the time can be cut. So first rehearsal, 4 seconds. After a week, 3 seconds. After 2 months, 2 seconds. Until you reach what is almost impossible, like changing in a snap.
I know you're all wondering, like I am, whether Arturo is always in character. His home may offer us some clues.
Well, welcome to my magical house.
Do you want to hear a violin singing? Here we go. You know, I can come through the wall in 3D in this frame. You don't believe me? Well, just remove the problem. The wall. It can't be more 3D than this. Oh, you're hungry? Okay, let's go downstairs. It's close. Oh. You always have to try the other way around. You don't trust me? Okay, let's use the main door. Hello. Yes, it's for you. Call back later. For the friends I have euphorizant, morphine, for the unfriendly people, cyanure and arsenic. Well, it's sugar, huh? It's not poison. It's just plain sugar. Put the candle back.
Come on then, Arturo. What's this really all about for you?
The most rewarding thing is when people are writing me, oh, your show should be paid by the national insurance. Or, thank you for having given me back 2 hours of my childhood. Those are the most important thing. You know, in Rome, once a family arrived in the dressing room, the little boy, who was about 5, asked me, but now that the show is finished, you go home by taxi or you fly? That's fantastic. That's an incredible expression of what my works means. Because I flew on stage, so for him it was normal that I was flying home after the show. That's make me believe I can be a little bit Father Christmas, no? Santa Claus, but younger.